So first, go to my.gov.au and create an account. Once you click create an account, you will have two options, either continue with email or continue with digital identity. Now, based on my experience, I actually first tried to use the digital identity, but it failed miserably for me. I'll share that later in this video, but in my experience, I found it was a lot easier to just continue with email. So for the purpose of this video, let's do that, continue with email. And then the next step will ask you to review the terms of use, so make sure to read those documents and click the boxes once you've done so and hit next. Now you will be asked to provide an email, and this is the email address where you will receive messages in your MyGov inbox. So just provide your email address and click next. You will receive a code in your email address, so just provide that in this next step here and click next. And you will also be asked to provide your mobile number. So I'll just read this part here. So MyGov will send you a one-time use code to use each time you sign into your account. However, if you are living in an area where you don't have mobile coverage or you don't have your mobile number, you'll need to answer secret questions to sign in. So anyway, you can select this step if you can't use a mobile number, but when I registered, I've just put in my mobile number. And then you will enter a code. So similarly, like what they did for your email address, they'll send you a code as well for your mobile number, and you'll just have to write the code there. And then step 4, they'll ask you to create a password. It should have at least 10 characters, including at least one number. And just re-enter the password and click next. And this step here will ask you to create secret questions. So create 3 questions and answers that you can easily answer and others are unlikely to know. If you need to answer your secret questions in the future, the answers must be an exact match to those you keep here. Alternatively, you can also create your own question. For example, who is your favorite YouTuber? Answer, Binibining Veronica. Next! And that's it! Congratulations! You have created your MyGov account. So every time you log in to your MyGov account, you can use your email address as your username. And what you can do from here, you can link your government services, which I'll show you later. You can also update your settings to tell MyGov about how you want to sign in securely and choose whether to receive inbox notification by text or via email, and just hit continue. Now, let's just briefly talk about the digital identity if that is, for example, the route that you've chosen. But first, if we're just meeting, kia ora, my name is Binibining Veronica. Welcome to the Little Cup from New Zealand to Australia, where I help people create better plans for their big move abroad. So if you're moving to Australia and you want to plan better, then please make sure to hit like and subscribe. Salamat po! So like as I mentioned, when you are creating your MyGov account, you do have an option to continue with email or continue with digital identity. When I was trying to create my MyGov account, I wasn't really thinking properly. Parang meron akong left side neglect. I didn't really see that continue with email for some reason. So anyway, I went on and continued with digital identity, and it was so difficult for me. Because when I click that link, they said there that you'll have to download an app. I'll show you that app actually. So that's what it looks like. And then initially I thought the MyGov website and MyGov ID are the same, but they're actually different. And the problem I encountered was once I logged in to the MyGov ID app, it actually asked me for Australian form of identity. The documents were all based in Australia. So for example, the Medicare card, I didn't have it at that time. So I was just going to like a rabbit hole of like, how do I do this? And then part of my frustration was I was also trying to get a customer reference number for My Centerlink application. I have created a separate video on that, but when I initially tried to create my CRN, I also encountered this digital identity. And again, I was in this like loop. What do I do? How do I do this? Because at that time, I have already converted my New Zealand driver's license to Australian driver's license, but every time I put that information in the MyGov ID app, it wasn't just going through. For some reason, it's not acknowledging it. So anyway, like I said, I spent so much time in this MyGov ID app when all along I could have had created a MyGov account by just simply using my email. So I've done that. And then like in the separate video I've created for Centerlink, I also follow that steps of actually just going through the Centerlink office, or alternatively, you can ring them as well so they can help you with your CRN. But yeah, yun nga, everything is easier in retrospect. So anyway, just to share, when I finally got my Medicare card, out of curiosity, I wanted to see what it looks like if I have some forms of Australian-based identity. So I've put in my Medicare details and then identity strength as basic, and then I still have these other options to include, so I can go, I guess, the next stage. But I don't have an Australian passport. Like I said, my driver license, it just doesn't accept it. And then the birth certificate they're wanting here is Australian birth certificate, which I don't have. The Australian visa, I've used my New Zealand passport. And then I don't have an EMI card. I don't have a citizenship certificate. But after providing that, I got to the standard level, but the final step is still Australian passport. So, like I said, in my situation, the MyGov ID app wasn't really that helpful. And if you are creating your MyGov account for the actual website, like I said, for me, it was a lot easier to just do it using your email address. Now let's go to the actual website, your dashboard, once you have your MyGov account. Alright, so let's say, for example, we've already created our account, we logged out, I don't know, you have a toddler like me, and then anyway, your toddler is back asleep again, and now you're logging in. So each time you log in, they will give you a code to your mobile number, so you'll just have to write that code and hit next. And then the dashboard looks something like this. At the very top, you have your Australian government logo, MyGov logo, you have your home, browse, search, and a drop-down menu for your My Account. If you click that My Account, it'll give you profile, inbox, task, payments and claims, link services, and account settings. So for example, each time I get an email from either Centerlink or Medicare or ATO, they send it to my email address, but I only ever see there that you should check your MyGov account. There's a new inbox message for you. So yeah. And then on the next column, you'll see your inbox, your profile, your payments and claims. And then if you are logging in for the first time, you may want to link services, because in essence, the MyGov dashboard is like the central hub of all government services. So when you click view and link services, you will have an option there of what service to link. In my dashboard, I already have, I think, 4 services linked. So I have ATO, which is Australian Taxation Office. In New Zealand, that's similar to IRD, which reminds me, like in New Zealand, before you actually work, you have to have your IRD number. In Australia, you have to have your tax file number, TFN. Let me know if you want me to create a video about that. Actually, I might just write it somewhere as my part of my to-do list. And obviously, if you are enjoying this video, then please make sure to hit like and subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you will know when I upload new videos just like this one. If you want to support the channel, please hit that super thanks icon at the bottom of this video. And alternatively, you can buy me a coffee. That really goes a long way. It takes a lot of time, preparing for these videos and putting them all together. So thank you so much for all the help that you can give. I have also linked my Centrelink account, which in my previous video we talked about. So it's all about social security services and payments for me. That's where I process my childcare subsidy for my daughter. And then we have the Medicare. We already talked about Medicare extensively, but you can also view your vaccination history there. And like I said, I have a daughter, so I can also look at her vaccination history through Medicare. And whenever I see a GP practice, for example, or I have blood tests or procedures done, I could also see the dollar amount of how much, I guess, those procedures cost. And then the last that I added is my health record, because I was initially hoping I will have access to those results. However, I don't think this is in use just yet where I am living. But anyway, it's there, but it doesn't really do much for me. So in essence, if anything, I have like 3 main services linked. If you go down further in the alert section, it also says there that you can now download the new MyGov app, which I feel like is more beneficial for us, because in essence, the MyGov that we access in a computer will be this one, MyGov app on our mobile, which is totally separate, like I said, to that digital identity challenge that I've encountered initially. Question of the day: who is your favorite YouTuber? Joke lang, don't unsubscribe ha. But anyway, if you are moving to Australia and you are in the middle of all this chaotic process, I imagine it can be really stressful. It was very stressful for me personally and for our family as well. Parang ngayon na lang ako naka-dress. If you've seen my other videos where I was like doing live sessions, how haggard, how stressful I was and how exhausting it is. So I guess be kind to yourself as well, when you're going through checking each websites, processing all of these applications, government ID, government services. Just be kind to yourself as well. It can be really, really challenging. Huwag kayong panghinaan ng loob, kaya yan. Diba? It's all for the goals that we're trying to achieve. If you found this video helpful, then share it to your friends, or watch my other video about applying for childcare subsidy. As always, I wish you all the best with your journey, and I hope you will be blessed. I'll see you soon. Bye!